Welcome to Mindly Way, where we explore life philosophies to grow and find the right path. Get ready to listen for an inner journey. Allow yourself to believe that life isn't serious. You feel that if you are not doing something serious, you're a loafer, and you're not making a contribution to the welfare of society. In this way, the artist plays a unique and fascinating role in this society. He seems to be the ultimate luxury, the irrelevant person, and you can afford to support an artist. Fine arts refers to the completely useless person who creates paintings, which are essentially large labels or posters that you can hang on your utilitarian walls to decorate them. On the other hand, the artist is the one who can show you what lies ahead. The artist is the one who opens our eyes simply because he is different in Rome from the preacher and the philosopher. The artist's role is fascinating because, despite his appearance as the clown, the jester, and the completely unimportant and irrelevant person, it is through the artist that we actually learn how to live, not the preacher, philosopher, or professor. But the artist himself is the one who instructs us, whether by visual means, such as paintings or sculptures, or even more so through music. If you can obtain it, you ought to read it. A recent East Village Other featured an interview with George Harrison, one of the Beatles, explaining the deep philosophy of music that they comprehend and adhere to. Since the essential source of life in Hinduism is called luck, he considers himself to be a Hindu since the mere nature of sound exposes the meaning of the universe. In Sanskrit, the word luck means to speak, but it also refers to the fragrance, the flow of tone. And for this reason, one of the most fundamental types of yoga practice in India is the use of mantras, or chanted words. The word O, which the Hindus pronounce as because the letter AR is located at the back of the throat and is pushed through the vowel to OH at the lips, is used to refer to the word Om, which is known as the Pranava. Every sound is essentially the sound of something. Yet there is a term that describes everything that is happening in Sweden. The entire cosmos is his own, and other from being the lifeblood. It has no significance. The narrative. You've all read my book, The Child's Technology, where I wrote about a very strange experience I once had with Hindu music. I happened to have acquired some of this extraordinary Mexican mushroom from Timothy Leary, and I was feeling really bad after returning from a trip to the East. I was tired, I had a sore throat, and I was just feeling bad. So I took this thing, and I found myself listening to this Hindu music. I had no idea what it was, and I thought this in my friend, a pretty wild kind of fellow. And I thought he'd put on a tape recording of his and his friends' antics, like kids making faces, despite the fact that this is just completely ridiculous. The record was edited by Anna and Daniel, two of the most reputable and scholarly pundits, and it says Classical Music of India. So I said to Roger, "Hey, let me see the album." But that's not the situation here. The topic of Hindu music. I mentioned someone's pulling my leg? No, not at all. This was just a babbling sound. Then they performed the Dar routine. But they could also use their voices like oboes. You know how that goes? I feel like I have a clothespin on my nose. I listened to this and realized that's what life's all about: music. It was the most wonderful sudden realization that everything in this world has glorious meanings. That's what's happening. We're all taught by our mothers and fathers to place a value on things. So when they go a certain way, the rhythm of life moves in a certain way. Well, what's the deal with that? Things that cease, I must cease. Things must go off, and things that go off must go on. But you see, we become involved by placing a value on it all at this point. I could say, that's bad, you shouldn't do it. But in the same way, engaging in this behavior and attaching values to it is all a part of the game. Getting hung up and pricked so you don't unhook yourself by telling yourself, I shouldn't be attached, I shouldn't do this or that. All you do is realize that becoming hooked on it is just another way to engage in it. No nonsense, more jazz. The deeper the jazz. When you see a company, it has sub-branches that come from the main black branch first, then sub-sub-branches that come from the sub-sub-branches. And from the sub-sub-branches that come from the sub-sub-branches, you get a phone. Therefore, you could no longer rank each of these stages according to what is occurring. For example, this is a number 1 level. This is a R42 level. This is a number 65 level. And then evaluate the events and declare them to be good. It's not good. It's correct. It's incorrect. But what you fail to realize is that you are calling something improper because you mistakenly believed it to be a 63 level, when it was actually a 112. You were unaware of the extent of the situation. So in reality, the entire drama of human existence, with all of its ups and downs, triumphs and tragedies, evils and goodwas, it's just like a farm with tumors on it, which indicates that just another plant is making its home there. Occasionally, a fan of bugs lives there as well, carrying out their daily activities and feeding off the fern, which in turn feeds off something else. In this way, we're all dependent on one another. I witnessed the entire event.